Hi there, Holly Shields here for Kalkinemedia. What is a budget deficit? Let's break it down. But first, please sub to our channel and press the bell icon to stay ahead of the game. A budget deficit arises when expenditure exceeds revenues, usually over a single fiscal year, increasing the national debt. Budget deficits are typically associated with organizations, governments, corporations, and people. A country may need to boost revenue-generating activities to close a budget deficit while cutting back on specific expenditures, or a mix of the two. There could be a variety of factors that cause expenditures to exceed revenue, like an unavoidable job loss, which can result in a loss of revenue. Bills for unexpected medical expenses, which can quickly spiral out of control. If the debt repercussions aren't too severe and individuals in the early phases of credit card debt, spending can quickly exceed revenue. Or the debtor continues to charge and makes the minimum payment. Governments lose income during recessions. When workers lose their employment and become unemployed, they pay less in taxes. This means the government receives less revenue. Budget deficits may arise due to unexpected actions and events, such as increased defense spending following the 11th of September 2001 terrorist attacks. While the initial battle in Afghanistan cost an estimated $22.8 billion, the cost of war in Iraq in the fiscal year 2003 was $51 billion. So how about the consequences of a budget deficit? Well, most businesses with long-term deficits may experience immediate consequences. If a person or family has a budget deficit, their creditors will contact them. As debts go unpaid, their credit score soars, making new credit more costly or impossible to get. As a result, they may be forced to file for bankruptcy. Bond ratings decline for companies with chronic budget deficits. When this happens, they must pay higher interest rates to obtain any loans, referred to as junk bonds. Governments rely on taxes for revenue. By delivering services, government leaders maintain popular support. They'll spend as much as possible if they want to keep their power. The majority of voters are unconcerned about the debt's consequences. So what are the types of budget deficits? Let's break it down. There's fiscal deficit, which is the amount of money the government will need to borrow to cover its expenses. The more significant the budgetary imbalance, the more money will be borrowed. In the absence of cash, the fiscal deficit helps to understand the government's shortage while paying for expenses. A large fiscal deficit causes the government to spend money it doesn't have, thereby putting the economy under inflationary pressure. On the other hand, borrowing more money will hamper future economic growth because most of the funds will be used to pay off debt. Plus, reduced bonus, subsidies, and leave encashments, lowered public expenditure, divestment of public sector units, and increased tax revenue will all help to cover the lower fiscal imbalance. Then there's a revenue deficit. The term revenue deficit refers to a situation in which the government's revenue is insufficient to cover the costs of essential government services. To cover the revenue deficit, the government must liquidate some assets, contributing to inflation in the market. A considerable amount of borrowing increases the country's financial debt burden. Decreased needless spending, increased tax rates, and the imposition of additional taxes, when possible, could be some of the steps taken by the government to reduce the deficit. And finally, primary deficit, which refers to the expenditure that government borrowings will cover while omitting the payment of income interest. A zero deficit indicates that credit or borrowing is required to pay off the outstanding interest payments. because the primary deficit is any borrowings above the existing debt or borrowings. Measures to reduce the primary deficit can be comparable to those made to lower the fiscal deficit, like a reduced bonus, subsidies, and leave encashments, or lowered public expenditure. So how is a budget shortfall dealt with? Well, there are only two methods to keep a budget deficit under control: either raise revenue or reduce spending. On a personal level, getting a raise, obtaining a better job, or working two jobs will enhance revenue. Starting a business or renting out a real estate are two ways to boost revenue. Many experts advise avoiding costly non-essentials like television subscriptions and Starbucks coffees. It can also benefit someone with a spending problem if they seek help. Social insurance taxes, corporate taxes, consumption taxes, and income taxes provide the majority of revenue for national governments. These tax increases are the way for governments to increase revenue. Well, if you like this info, please like, share, and comment on the video, give our channel a sub, and press that bell icon. For more info, log on to our website at kalkinemedia.com. This has been Holly Shields for Kalkinemedia.